We entered the halls of black ice alongside Helda, and what greeted us wasn't what we expected at all. Instead of zombies, we were accosted by something else completely. Plants that had taken over bodies of the dead, like a husk. After dealing with a slew of them, we finally found what we came here to dispose of. Chardelyn, the type that Ruby was so excited to have for dinner. Will we be able to handle this and not go mad? Find out on today's short quest, Long Rest.
So, continuing on, Tavini, Dreamer, and Krellick, as the three of you are nearest the forge area, you can see that a lot of the tables there are just scattered with tools, all of them in comparatively good order. They've obviously been abandoned for a few years, so there's spots of rust. Nothing that jumps out at you that, like, it's been kind of eating away at. You do notice that there are mushroom growths on every wooden surface. Even the two carts that you're beside, Tavini, have mushrooms growing on them. Very, very small, but numerous. And if the three of you can give me an investigation check as you're up there.
Good at these.
21.
You are awesome, Krellick.
A 2, a 21, and a 19. Tavini, as you're
Krellick
looking
eats one.
in both of these carts,
Sorry.
you're not finding anything that really jumps out at you as like, oh, this will be useful to the group, until you move a couple of articles out of the side. Thankfully, no Chardelyn in them. But certainly a number of tools and, there's a couple of folded tarps. And lifting one of these tarps, you find a coil of rope you can take with you if you'd like. As for Dreamer, looking through the tools over here by the forge, there is one object that really kind of stands out to you, as it is made of much darker material than the others. There amidst the hammers, the saws, the picks, the chipping tools, is a very shapely blade. Smooth across its surface. The handle of it, the grip, made of the same material. It's all one piece. There's about a 10-inch dagger of Chardelyn there that has obviously been worked. Do you do anything with it? Do you draw it to anyone's attention?
Nope. Dreamer will see that, completely ignore it, and then just sort of circle around the room, giving the massive chunk of Chardelyn a wide berth.
Alright. So you go towards the rubble heap of Chardelyn instead?
I'll split the gap.
He's walking sideways between them.
So, Felgrin, all you see is, Dreamer kind of ducks out of sight into that workshop area, and then immediately, clang, 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 starts, whips around and walks past you southward.
I think he just gives him that normal look he gives Dreamer when he's being Dreamer-like.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what's, actually a problem or what's just him being himself.
Yes. It's impossible to tell.
Yeah, I know. It's just
he just
he
shrugs.
could literally, jump up on his hands and, walk across the room, and we'd just be like, well, that's Dreamer.
He just sighs, shrugs, and follows after him.
Helda proceeds further into the room, kind of taking point. And there's another workshop up here on the left, and another hallway down south.
Goody.
She sort of stops beside another cart and peers into it, and kind of has a disgusted look on her face, continues walking. Everyone else, what are you guys doing in this room?
Yeah. Looking at the other porch.
Alright.
Tavini is kind of sidling along, trying to avoid the Chardelyn, while holding Moradin's symbol.
Back, foul beast!
Yeah.
And it is warm in your palm, not just purely from body heat. And normally you may not be able to tell, but there's a contrast to the air here that makes it very prominent. Though inside this space, the Hall of Black Ice, it is warmer than it is outside. This area in particular, there is this chill, as if something is watching you, and you kind of unbidden look over your shoulder, and it's almost like out of the corner of your eye you caught something looking at you, but didn't quite lay eyes on it. Krellick, while you're over there, if you want to give me an investigation check.
Well, let's not
And you know
find
what?
anything.
What I will say is, because you are yourself a blacksmith, you'd be familiar with these spaces. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Nice.
Still find
I should have had you do that for the first one, but still rolls a 6. It's alright.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, nothing jumps out at you as unusual. You spend about 30 seconds or so parsing over everything, very cursory examination. And as you've all spent about a minute in this room so far, I'm gonna need everyone to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
If you would be so kind. Let's see, that is a 13 from Krellick, a 22 from Tavini, 18 from Helda, 18 from Rian,
Not having two screens is
Miri,
killing
Felgren,
me.
and... No, I think just Miri and Felgren. A 6 from Felgren, and Kepeskmirik
Oh, Grinbot.
with a 19. Alright. Hey, Grinny.
Grinny.
This is the first time I've ever gotten to use one of these on you guys, so I am so happy.
You are an evil, evil person. I don't even know what it is, but you're an evil person.
I have a roll table prepared for this.
Oh, you're going mad.
That is a 71. You feel suddenly very, very willing to listen to orders. Like, you kind of want someone to tell you what to do.
I mean, that's not so bad.
Nope. Till Rian finds out.
Oh yeah, you think it's just gonna manifest itself physically for you to find out?
No, but I'm hoping. Hoping something happens.
You're very, very agreeable for the next minute.
While Tavini is standing at the back, and she thought she saw something, but there was nothing there, she's going to stare at the pillar opposite her.
Alright.
And with one hand on her holy symbol, she's going to wave her other one in front of her lantern and just for a moment create darkness and see if she spots anything.
Oh, shit.
Alright. Roll me a perception check.
Oh my god.
21.
Uh-oh.
As your hand passes in front of the lantern, there's this bar of darkness, this lengthy shadow that extends outward. And it's almost like the lantern is a lighthouse within this space, and you're just turning it. And as you do, where the darkness goes, there is again that sense of being watched, that oppressive evil. And in particular, as you're standing between this very large chunk of Chardelyn and this pile of rubble, you are the nearest person to these things. When the shadow falls across them, you almost feel your breath hitch in your chest. There suddenly is this impact of fear. Not enough to force a wisdom save, not enough to frighten you. But it is so unnerving, and you can kind of understand why Helda was saying that this stone drives people mad. It does not feel healthy to stay close to it for any length of time.
She backs up. Anything?
Nothing.
Then, can we leave and find other threats?
Passage continues down this way. And Helda is walking almost a little too quickly, like one of those people who is trying not to give away that she's scared, but is very much like, oh nope, gotta make tracks.
Nice.
Taviti, you feel Felgrin looming over you, and even with just a glance, there's kind of like a goose and her duckling feeling going on there.
Are you okay?
Doing good. He gives you kind of a finger gun and a wink.
He's too chipper.
Whatever you need, boss.
Is he being sarcastic?
Is he being sarcastic?
Unfortunately, he's not.
I don't know how obvious it would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rian would just assume he's being sarcastic. He wouldn't even question it. He would just be like, yeah, he would just be like, oh, that's a Grin being Grin again. Just being an asshole. Like,
Alright. So, Krellick, as you step out into this hallway, you notice off to your left what appears to be an entrance to a bedroom. Rian, as you've kind of gone right, there's a much larger space that direction, and the hallways extend to both your right and your left in a sort of northwest-southeast fashion.
Krog's gonna peek his head in the bedroom.
Alrighty. And we get to use another one of these. As you poke your head inside, you can see that there's a stairway beyond where there's just a bunch of rubble that has fallen. And it's obviously, inaccessible. But perhaps more importantly, on a set of drawers to your left, you see a bag on its side. And from within, you catch a hint of a round stone. It's hard to tell what color, because dark vision only gives you shades of gray. What are you doing?
Oh. Well, he's gonna have to inch closer.
Nothing happens as you inch closer.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Take the stone.
He's gonna try to grab the bag and kind of roll the stone out.
Alright. And as you do, the sort of oblong stone, about, 2 inches long or so, rolls out, followed by 2 more. You could see that the pattern on it, it's very shiny, very smooth, and has bands on it. There's no decoration, it's just a polished stone. But even in dim light, you can tell very pretty. You, being Dwarven, would recognize this as agate. A semi-precious stone, often used for jewelry or currency.
Okay, I guess he's going to grab them.
Nice.
Alright.
Pack them away.
Yeah. So you now have 3 agate in your inventory, worth roughly
Hey,
10
it's like
gold.
how much we get paid for a delivery.
Yep. Equivalent. That's about how we gotten paid for everybody, right? So far, this job total. Actually, I forgot that too. I didn't know that the lantern was why all the colors were changing. I was like, why is all the colors changing? I was like, oh, that's right. Her lantern does multicolors, and it actually does it in the game, which is friggin' awesome.
Yeah. Lantern by,
Razor.
what did you say? Lantern...
By Razor.
By Razor. Alrighty. So, as that was a dead end, but a valuable one, and a harmless one, where are you guys going now?
I'm going to wherever the big
Forward.
meaty dwarves go.
Alright. And Felgrin, the further you get away from that room with Chardelyn in it, you no longer feel a compulsion to be obedient. And it doesn't even strike you as odd that you felt it at all. It was just, almost like having a burp build up in your gut. Like, oh, it's
nice.
out. Alright.
Yeah, a little bit of gas.
Like, oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
A gas that made me compliant.
Exactly.
Compliance.
Don't give that to the cops.
My favorite.
Hilda takes point and comes to where the hallway branches and kind of looks either direction at crossbow ready. Right. I think one of these might take us back the direction we were coming from.
If I had to guess, I would say the right one.
South it is, then?
Logic would dictate the path going away from the way we came in is the one we want.
So what is our marching order here?
Rian will take lead.
Go for it, Chief.
Alrighty. So Rian, as you are heading southward, you see what appears to be a small entrance to your left there, as well as the hallway ending to your south, but there is another entrance further down again on the left.
Fuck it. Rian's gonna go for it. He's gonna search this room real fast. Like, hey, there's a room on the left here. I'm gonna take a peek inside.
And we get another look at the roll table.
Roll it out.
Ooh. Rolling. Aha. So, within, sort of tangled together on the bed, you find a pair of dwarves embracing one another. Both of them with this thorny growth starting over their bodies. But here it seems to have failed in actually finishing its growth. Both the seed pods in their chest lie dormant and dark, like decaying. You do notice a pair of rings, one on either hand of theirs, and between them is a letter.
Oh.
It's partially decomposed. There's mold growing up over it from, the seed pod.
I think Rian would being the scene just being so sad. I don't think he could help himself but try to reach out and grab that letter.
All right. Do you read Dwarvish?
I don't.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple people in our group that do, so I'll look it over, and I think I'll even call for Krellick.
Krellick, do you go to him?
Yeah.
Join him in that room, yeah. All right. So Helda posts up at the door almost as a guard, kind of continuing to watch the hallway. Krellick, as you enter the room, you see the tangled corpses. You see the letter in Rian's hand, kind of moldering, green spotted. And you see both the dwarves lying in the bed wear a wide band ring that is very shiny. Rian, I think you can identify treasures at a glance, right? Or the value of something.
I can.
Yeah. You sort of even just looking over those two rings briefly, note them to be, accurately judge them to be 50 gold apiece.
Anything magical about them?
Nothing that jumps out at you.
That's a lot of fucking money for me to play the bigger man here. Shit.
I know.
I know.
Maybe.
Yeah, he'll hand the letter off to Krellick. They're I think this isn't Dwarvish. I unfortunately don't read it. I don't think I read it. It says I have Dwarvish. Why do I have Dwarvish? Oh, I do have Dwarvish. I'm an idiot. I have Dwarvish and Gnomish.
Well, then I don't go in the room.
Yeah. I still call for him.
Maybe your Dwarvish is spotty.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe something like that, or the fact of because I don't know cultural Dwarvish very much, so it'd be like what's what does all of this mean?
I speak Hill Dwarf, not Mountain
There you
Dwarf.
go. But yeah, he'll read the note.
And it starts with my dearest Edra, I think about you every day that I am away on this trade route, and I long for the warmth of our home and hearth together in the hall. I should be back before the end of the year if all goes well. And should we see each other again, as our journeys have been very dangerous, I will embrace you to the end of my days. And it appears, as you're kind of reading the rest of this, a lover writing to another, waiting for them.
Mm-hmm.
And from what you're able to make of the scene, obviously either they were reunited or these are two different people, but, they kind of kept this keepsake between them as whatever affected the hall took over everyone.
That's it. I think Rian will just I think he'll put the note back. I think he'll put it back on them. And seeing that the thing, if those things were even shown any type of life whatsoever, he would destroy them. But if they're definitely, like, the pods are definitely dead, he'll just leave the room.
Alright.
Go be a weenie.
That's some hot Skrilla you're leaving in there.
I know, it's 100 gold worth of shit, and I'm...
Krellick, as Rian leaves the room ahead of you, and you're alone in there, with really only, people could see you at a distance, you're still within view, but no one would really see if you took those rings. What are you doing?
Krellick's just gonna mumble a little prayer under his breath and leave the room.
Alright. Moving on further south. You come to an abrupt dead end with, again, an entrance to your left. And for the sake of brevity, find yourself in another bedroom. There's also a winding tunnel where you can see it kind of descends a little. But you can also see there's rubble heaped there, so it's probably not an open passage. As for what lies in this particular room, while I'm rolling that up, Dreamer, Miri, what are you two doing in the back there?
I'm just holding up the rear.
Alrighty. Ari rolled that one, so let's roll a different one.
There's a Tarask in this one.
Aha! There's a how did you guess? Felgrin, as you kind of take the lead entering this room, not lying on the bed, but lying on the floor. There is a heap of rusted weapons. We're talking axes, swords, daggers, even shields, placed in a weirdly ceremonious fashion. There is no sense to the pattern, they're just kind of stacked there. But looking at it, it seems like they were stacked with purpose. So a rusty heap of metal in the middle of the floor.
Krellick?
What?
He just keeps getting called into all the rooms.
Well, here he goes.
The interpreter of Dwarven culture.
Felgrin just points.
What's going on?
Do the others pile in? Tavini, are you poking your head in there, or are you staying out in the hall?
I think Rian's watching this little cubby hallway thing.
Davini's keeping, trying to stay within range of the group, but also trying to keep watch for anything lurking. Any more of those spiky things.
So, Tavini and Dreamer, both of you roll me a perception check.
Yay, the best ones.
Yeah, no shit. If there's two people
Oh
we
my
want,
God.
roll it backwards.
But Dreamer rolled a nat 1.
He rolled a 7.
Still got a 7.
Perception check.
Perception.
Please, thank you.
Hey, that's not bad.
15.
We'll take that.
Yeah, now that you're away from that room full of Chardelyn, it's almost like you can breathe a little more easily. There is still that pervasive sense of darkness and unease that fills this place. But nothing that jumps out at you is, oh, we're in immediate danger and we need to leave. Just uneasiness. It's uncomfortable. And Krellick, as you are summoned into the room to interpret what the hell the others found, you see a heap of weapons. It has no immediately apparent pattern to it.
This some sort of weird dwarven ritual, or what?
Gonna take a closer look and try to figure out what the heck is going on.
Alright. So are you moving things aside? Are you racking your brains for does this have any significance?
I don't think he'd move anything just yet. Just take a closer look and then maybe move some stuff.
Roll me in investigation.
Ah, dang it. Oh!
A 19.
yeah,
Okay, a
20.
natural 20
Yeah, boy.
reduced to 19.
He just turned
Okay.
into friggin' Batman for a second.
So,
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Felgrin and Rian, you both watch as Krellick kind of like, hands on his knees, crouches over this pile, and he just stares at it for a full minute. His eyes are locked. And he starts to kind of circle around one way and circle around the other, really, not touching anything, but getting a good sense of what the hell he's looking at.
Just sniffing it.
And Krellick, you absolutely know that there is no pattern here. There is no purpose. Whatever purpose the creator of this heap of weapons may have had is known only to them. And you are certain that there is something underneath all those weapons and those shields that are just kind of heaped together.
Okay, well, Krellick's gonna start carefully digging now.
Do what dwarves do and dig.
All right. And it doesn't take long. You pull a shield aside and everything just kind of comes crashing down. It doesn't cause any damage. It's just kind of noisy. And you find yourself holding a helm. A horned helm. Though one of the horns is broken off. And as you heft it in your hands, though one of the horns is broken, the metal itself is very shiny and well maintained, even though it's been abandoned here.
Would you look at that?
So shiny.
Just gonna look over the helm for a minute or something. And he actually kind of likes it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, we find something cool and it's absolutely worthless to me.
I think with that, Rian would be like, "What'd you find?" He kind of peeking over Grin's shoulder.
He'll step aside.
He holds up the helm.
Okay. Do I get anything from it with my is my
Oh,
draconic sense
it's
tingling?
magical.
Nice. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. What are we? Well, actually, I don't know. Do I get to actually identify stuff with that?
I don't know that you can identify. I know you could certainly...
Yeah, I know I can tell it's magical, but I don't know. Let me check my feet.
Oh yeah, you can cast Identify only as a ritual, but you don't need components.
Oh, that's right.
It would take you 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, it depends if we got time for it.
Well, Felgrin doesn't know that, though. Well, put it on, see what it looks like.
Krellick's just gonna shrug and take off his and put that one on.
That's awesome.
He doesn't know it's
Alrighty.
magical at all. Just a cool looking helmet.
You put it on your head, and
He's like, oh wait, that's
Nothing.
magic. Oh.
What?
nothing immediately happens. It does seem that this item would require attunement.
Okay.
He kind of holds his hands up to make like a square with his hands.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, that's I'm getting a tingle off that. That's got some mojo in it.
I don't
Say,
know what
once
that
we,
means.
It's magical. It's a magical item. But say once we get to somewhere safe, you give me a few minutes with it, I might be able to get the feel for it.
All right. It seems, even with just a brief exploration of here, you've reached a dead end.
Ah, damn.
But a dead end with some interesting shinies.
That's true. That is definitely true.
What are you guys doing next?
I will lead the way back.
All right.
We have to go back.
And Helda sort of jogs to catch up with you, Dreamer, her shield bouncing on her back. Right, keep together. So as you head now northwest, you see another entrance. A small one to your north, leading to who knows where it looks to be a rough-hewn tunnel. And then you see immediately to the left of that a wide hallway leading northward. There is another hallway leading to the southwest, further west of you. And Dreamer, as you step out into this space, you can see that there are 3 pillars, 3 very large columns to the south side of this room. And there's just a heap of rubble all the way to the ceiling. blocking that direction. Right. Hilda crosses the room past the smaller entrance with the rough-hewn corridor and pokes her head around to peer down the hallway. I'm not 100% certain, but I think this goes back the way we came.
I think Rian will come back and be like, "Oh yeah, that's that really nice hallway. Like I'd recognize it from anywhere."
Fine architecture.
Yeah.
It'll keep us away from that Chardelyn as we're heading back out.
Hey,
Good point. I got the heebie-jeebies from it.
I think Rian come back to this like caved-in room and take a look inside real fast, just to make sure we're not leaving any
Alrighty.
open, unexplored areas behind us as we go, so nothing jumps out behind us.
Yet another bedroom. But while you're taking care of that, Tavini, Dreamer, what are the pair of you doing?
Keeping an eye out for trouble.
Oh no.
Working my way over this way to watch this southwest hallway.
Making my way downtown.
Alright.
Tavini will stay next to Dreamer. Like,
So if the pair of you want to give me a perception check.
22 for me.
Okay.
Nice.
And a 22.
Completely redeem yourself.
Dreamer, you make out that at the very edges of your dark vision, that direction, there's a stack of casks all on their side, forming a pyramid. And it appears to be a large room down that hallway and to the right. As for Rian, the moment you enter this room, you've barely crossed the threshold when you hear an angry squeak, followed by multiple other squeaks, as from under the beds come swarming a bunch of rats your direction.
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Jesus! And I think he'll like back up out of the room.
As soon as Felgren saw rats, he's like, "No, sir! No!"
So
Ugh.
they chase you to the entrance, all of them like squeaking and climbing over one another. And they don't chase you out into the hallway, but you can hear angry chittering.
Dreamer, talk to them!
Aye, there's a whole mess of rats in there.
Oh, God!
Jesus!
They're huge!
Oh, there's so many of them. I think some of them had their tails tied together. They're like some type of king.
King Rat! No, it is I, King Ratley!
Yeah. You ever heard those? The Rat Kings? The Rat Kings in New York?
If you want me to throw a rat king at you, I
Bow
can.
before thee, peasants!
I have a stat block for a rat king. How's fucked up is that?
No shit. That does not surprise me with you,
Well,
Josie.
yeah,
at
well
all.
now we need to bring in King Ratley. The
Yeah,
rat, the
King
rat,
Ratley.
the Rat King.
Of the Southern Ratleys.
Oh, God, okay.
You just walked into their home. Of course they're angry.
Well, this was Dwarven home first. God, jeez.
Did they just
Oh.
go back inside of the thing?
They
Yeah,
just chased me out.
They didn't chase you any further out into the
That's
hallway.
fine. I don't need to
Yeah.
go in there.
Nope.
They were just like, "Hey, get the fuck off my lawn!"
I'm good. I'm
Like,
off the lawn.
if I like come up to here, can I see them like at the door?
Are you stealthing or are you?
Why? Yeah, actually, yes. Because I am kind of like creeping up and just peeking around the corner, like to see if they're still there, like looking at us.
Roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
They're just waiting behind the
Hey.
corner. Yeah.
That's what I was waiting. Like they're just sitting there at the door, just been like, "Oh, one."
He rolls a 1. Okay.
Fucking trip.
So, yeah, you know what? I'll accept that. As you go to poke your head into the room, you lean in, and immediately to your right, you could see that there's some shelving, and a couple of rats have sort of climbed up onto it, and you could see that there are rat droppings everywhere in this room.
Ew.
It is very much a rat haven. It seems they've kind of claimed this part of the Hall of Black Ice. but
Tiny paper crowd.
one of the ones at eye level with
Burger
you
King crowd.
launches itself at your face,
Oh, god damn it.
startling you so badly that you trip and fall onto your face, and the rats again start appearing and swarming out from under the beds your direction as you lie prone.
Oh, god. Oh, god.
And they're going to make an attack roll against
Oh,
you.
god.
Oh god! Help me!
Oh, god.
That's a lot of oh god.
Oh, god. Oh.
Does a 13
It
connect?
does not. Ooh, doggy.
Ah, rats.
Oh, rats.
Alright. So, Rian, roll me initiative.
Okay. And I think he's yelling.
Yeah, you yelled oh god
Mistakes
like...
were... Yeah. Oh, god. Oh, god.
Mistakes were made.
Many mistakes were made.
Okay.
So many
So-
mistakes.
You're still prone. The rats have a 15 initiative, and anyone else that wants to join in on this is free to. So they're gonna make another attack on you.
Oh, god.
As this swarm just kind of fills your
Yep,
space.
19 gets me.
Yeah. All right.
Tavini's gonna try and run in there.
Yeah, you take 2 points of piercing damage as they kind of climb over your body and are finding little gaps in your armor to bite.
Like, oh, they're so disgusting. Oh my god.
What did you do?
I'm so sorry.
right.
Mistakes were made.
Krellick, that is now your
Alright.
turn.
He's gotta just try to see what the heck's going on.
All right.
So he's gonna try to get as close as he can.
Damn, I rolled hot initiative on the fucking rat fight.
Yeah, you're able to get there
Get him
just
off
fine.
me. Please, God, get him
Yeah.
off me, Greg.
What the? He's gonna play whack-a-mole, I guess.
It's Rian in the crotch. Oh,
Just miss.
All right.
They're just...
this
Go
is
for
the
it.
worst day of my life.
It's like when you punch someone in the face, try to get a mosquito off them.
Prone, and they're just squeaking and crawling all over. Yeah, 19 hits. I mean, they're just rats.
They're just rats.
There's just so many of them.
For 10. Yeah, you know, Krellick does so well against individual targets. When it comes to single targets, however, you're swinging away and you're like, you crush one. You don't do as much damage as you may have been expecting. They are apparently resistant to bludgeoning.
I kind of figured it was something like
So
that.
go ahead, give me that shield attack, I imagine.
Yep.
Atta boy. Oof.
A 10. Just barely manages to connect with a
Oh,
couple
they're
of
not.
them.
Okay, sweet.
They're
Seven.
just rats.
7 reduced to 4.
Hey, we'll take it.
All right. With a sweep of your shield, Krellick, you're able to knock a couple of the rats off of Rian, enough so you can finally see his face. Before
Buried.
they come swarming
How you
back over him.
how you feeling?
Like, there's more. They're
There's
everywhere.
more.
They're in all the crevices.
Yikes.
Yeah, Rian, as you're speaking
It's
from
like
under this
sand.
pile of rats, like, there's little paws all over your face, one goes into your mouth briefly, a tail sort of rests across your mouth lengthwise,
Oh, this is just gross.
and it is now your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yep,
Yep, okay. He is going to try to stand up.
which is no problem.
Okay, sweet. And that's half my movement, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then he's just gonna take a step back, and he is so freaked out that I don't think he has any other thought but to just electrocute
Obliterate?
them. Like, just blast them with everything he's got. And, which is so stupid. But he's gonna do it, because he's freaked the fuck out.
A witch bolt? Alright.
Yeah, he's witch bolting them.
Roll me an attack. 10. It connects.
Nice. Normal.
Hey.
Well, they're not resistant to
So
electricity.
7, not 10, but yeah.
Yeah, as your electricity rips through these rats, several of them, and their fur poofs out and they keel over dead, and there's a smell of burnt fur. And again, those of you who witnessed the spell, you have, when you blink, the after image of a lightning bolt through the air. But they're still coming.
shits on shits. No, I'm not gonna do that.
You going anywhere?
No. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. So that was 10. Yeah, I think he is. Like, he's gonna take a fucking attack of opportunity and get behind Kralik.
What the fuck?
Alright, they roll a 1.
Yeah, nice.
So
he's like kicking. He's like running when you got something behind you, and you're like kicking your feet out, so they don't get bit. And you're like,
yeah, there a couple of them come leaping after you. The majority, however, the electricity seems to have startled them, and they fall into a feeding frenzy of just eating their dead and their injured. Just a swarming dog pile of rats.
not to be confused
Felgren.
with a pile of rats.
That is now your turn.
Well, they seem preoccupied. Can we leave? Let them meet each other or whatever they want to do. I think you've embarrassed yourself enough.
I think he's not even paying attention to you at this point.
Oh,
He's still,
fine.
I think he's literally behind Kralik with like his hands like against his back, like
He's like, oh,
peeking
fine.
over his shoulder.
And then he just he'll just fling a firebolt at him.
Alright. Now here's what's funny is because you're behind Kralik and you're still within range of Witch Bolt, there's still electricity sort of laser beaming these rats.
God, I can hold it. I'm still holding it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm like running with the lightning bolt still on him.
That's a
Ow!
crit.
Holy.
That is a crit for the firebolt, so go ahead.
Firebolt crit. Oh my god.
Yeah, 7.
7. As your firebolt flashes past Rian, past Kralik, and splashes across the swarm of rats, you hear just this agonized squeaking as these things are being hit by lightning, they're being hit by fire, and when the fire clears in the light of the crackling lightning bolt, you can see a few survivors still pulling themselves free
Oh my god.
and racing towards
They're
Kralik.
still coming?
Uh,
That is a very tenacious rat storm, or rat swarm. Like, I think after
yes.
about like 2/3 of them died, they'd be like, "Hey, maybe the fight's not a good idea."
I don't like the note piles.
That is now Tavini's turn.
Oh, God.
Oh, 'cause
I was going to throw a ration. She was going to throw a ration in there, but seeing that they're getting ready to dog pile Kralik, rat pile Kralik, she's like, runs forward and pulls the fire off of her holy symbol and whoosh, hits them with sacred flame.
Alright. That is gonna be
Sorry.
a dexterity save for the rat swarm.
No, just
12.
fails.
They fail.
3.
That'll do it.
That's
So Tavini, there's a flash of warmth from your palms, and a bolt of radiant fire splashes across these remaining rats that are starting to now race up Kralik's legs, and with squeaks and agony, they just kind of collapse into a heap. And there's now a trail of rats leading back into that room, all of them in varying states of cooked, battered, broken, squished. Some of them gnawed on by their own fellows. It's
Wow.
gruesome.
How does it feel to get outplayed by rats?
Well, I had the last laugh now, didn't I? He's like trying to act tough and like,
That's what I thought.
I can feel your grip through the armor.
yeah, he's still got his grip across Kralik's shoulder. He's like, oh, sorry. Okay, I could probably break Witch Bolt now too. Okay.
Reen, as you say that, you do have... There is like... Oh, what is that? What is that in my mouth? And
No.
you pluck a hair off your tongue.
Oh. He's like, flicks it off. He's like, okay. So, anyone want to search that room now?
Not laughing anymore.
I'm leaving.
I'm looking in it now.
We already
Okay,
disposed of the rats. Might as well.
Yeah, so as you peek into that room, there's obvious signs of a rat infestation. They've got nests set up everywhere. As you're looking under beds and into drawers, you're finding, like snarling rat mothers over broods of suckling children.
Oh, baby.
I'm good.
There's nothing
I
valuable
think
in
I'm
here.
alright.
What is Dreamer been doing through this shit show?
He went through some internal screaming, and after the swarm was dead, he began walking down the hallway.
Okay.
And Rian has a fresh phobia of rats.
Yep. They were everywhere.
Helda gives you this kind of smug look as you pass, a bit of an arched eyebrow, but says nothing.
So with that many rats, being all up in your business,
Shut up.
would,
Shut your mouth.
would you not technically be like Ratman or something?
Maybe one of them radioactively pooped on him.
That
Oh,
I-
one of them could have pooped in your mouth.
I fucking hate all of you so much right now. he like passes Dreamer. He's like, oh shit. I think Rian's talking shit as he comes around that corner, and he's just like, oh fuck.
Rian, as you turn the corner, and Dreamer, I think you were also sort of in the lead there, so you see this at the same time and the others catch up. To the north of you, in this very wide space, bluish light from fungi on the wall show this room to be filled with a great variety of potted plants. Some appear blighted, others covered in thorns, while still other plants appear quite normal. There are pots made from old barrels, cookware, even old boots and rusted helms just scattered across all the tables. One table, across the room, by what appears to be a recently used hearth, is devoted entirely to a pair of yew bushes with little red berries on them, planted within halves of old ale casks. Scratched into the wood of the casks appear to be labels, but you can't make them out at this distance. There's also, underneath that table, a pot of soil, but you don't see any plants in it.
I think Rian will slowly move into the room.
Krellick will follow. He's kind of curious.
Alrighty. So, as you head inside and kind of approach that hearth, you hear a faint voice from the direction of the hearth sort of pop up, where those two bushes are.
Pardon me. If it isn't too much trouble, it's a wee bit cold in here. Could someone light the hearth?
And there is another voice from that same direction by the hearth, where you only see two bushes. I'd do it myself, if not for my crippling fear of fire.
Did anyone else hear that?
I think Krellick's gonna pull the helmet off
I think
and look at it.
He looks inside of it real fast.
I might be finally losing my mind.
Yeah, and this is like the sort of blue mushrooms that are growing on the walls.
Thanks for the atmosphere, Josie.
Do the pair of you approach the hearth over here on the left-hand side of the room?
So where are we hearing the voices from? You said they were by pots by the hearth, but only two I'm
You're
seeing.
hearing them over here.
Okay. So yeah, I think
I'm
Rian will
going.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rian will get closer just to try to figure out what the hell, because he hears voices. He's not gonna assume it's some creepy plant,
Oh,
even though
good.
that's what I'm assuming.
Let's go towards the disembodied voices. It's a great idea.
Yeah, so as you approach, all you see are a pair of potted plants that, now that you're close enough, you can see the labels. One of them, the one on the right, the name written on the potted plant says Clay. The other, the pot reads Yugo. They're both sitting on a table before the hearth.
What? Who said that?
I did.
Says the potted plant on the right. And then you hear the other one,
Yeah, we both been talking.
What are you? What is going on?
Do they have moving mouths?
No, they're just plants.
Okay, great.
So I'm just... Am I hearing it like
Are they
I'm
just
hearing
kinda
it,
like-
or I'm hearing it in my head?
You're hearing it out loud.
Do they even, like, vibrate? Or...
No, but they seem to be, as you get closer, they do shift a little. Almost like, two kids squirming on top of stools.
Yeah. Rian will just be like, what are you?
It's a plant.
Don't.
I'm a bush.
He holds up his hands and looks at Rian.
Yeah.
I'm a shrubbery.
No. Shrubberies don't talk. And he looks at Felger and he's like, and don't you try to pretend like that was an accurate thing to say. Like, you know that this is weird.
Some plants in the Feywild talk.
This isn't the Feywild.
It could be a part of it. I don't know. But it is a plant and it is talking. I don't know what to tell you.
You don't have to talk about us like we're not here.
My 9 health.
So...
Helda is glancing your direction, but she also seems to be kind of leaning over the pots on the tables. Not touching them, but keeping her crossbow trained on them.
Yeah, I was going to say, nobody touch anything. We know we're dealing with plants as far as the creatures we already dealt with. So, this could just be part of all of it.
So are you two responsible for what's happening here?
What's happening here?
You know,
No?
the whole pod thing that turns things into bush zombies? That whole thing?
No. Could you please light the fire? It's really cold
That
in
seems
here.
like an exceptionally bad idea.
I'm not finding... Anybody else chilly? And he kind of looks around to the group. He's like, yeah, I think I'm fine.
No, because I get the feeling if we light that fire, these things are going to get big and attack us or something.
What if a bush can look indignant? The one nearest you,
He
Felgrim,
narrows his
does.
eyes.
The one labeled Yugo.
Yeah.
I would never. I am not like my cousins.
Your cousins.
It can't point, but the ones on the
What's
table.
Tavini got going on?
She's heading for the barrel. She paused in the doorway to look at her journal, and then she's kind of moving over to the barrel to look over it curiously.
So, planted in this barrel is one of those pods, and it appears to be pulsating some. It looks vibrant and healthy, but as it has no host, hasn't grown into the sort of needle-like creatures that you saw before.
Is there a tap on the barrel?
No tap on the barrel. It has been turned over on its side, and from what you can see, just kind of looking at the base of this plant, filled with dirt.
Oh, so like a little god.
Yeah. In fact, everything in this room, every container that you can see, whether it's a boot, whether it's a helmet, whether it's a barrel or a bucket, has been filled with dirt and planted. Someone has really turned this place into, a conservatory of plants. A nursery. Rian, looking at the 2 pots that these plants are in and the one under the table, get the very distinct sense that they're magical, but the one under the table just has dirt in it. There's nothing planted there.
I think it's like in a pot, you said, right?
Yeah, it's like a pot. It's like a 10-pound clay pot.
Okay. He'll reach down and grab it, and I guess dig through it. Try to figure it out, because if he senses it, he senses magic from it, and yet there's nothing there. He's like, what the hell is this? Just trying to figure out answers, trying to figure out what the hell these things are, or why these ones can talk, and why they're not crazy, attacking us, and what the difference is between them, and...
Roll me investigation.
Okie dokie. 12.
12? Yeah, you stick your hand into this potted plant, you root around, and all you do is dirty your hand.
Huh.
Dreamer, what are you doing in here?
I'm looking at the plants, and while Rian's digging about, I'll extinguish my produced flame.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, fuel in the hearth?
There's no fuel in the hearth, but there's a lot of tables about, and you could see, a stack of old dry wood off to the left there.
Dreamer is going to pick up some of that wood and put it in the hearth.
I think Rian immediately is like, "What are you doing, Dreamer?"
They're plants. They're cold.
Don't... What?
They're murder plants that just tried to kill us.
I'm not a murder plant.
Oh my god.
These two don't look anything like the other things.
That doesn't matter.
Maybe.
Why don't we test it then? They say they're nothing like their...
Please, it's
They
really
say they're
cold.
nothing like their cousins, he says in quote. Well, why don't you take one of those pots, or those pods, and smash it with your foot? See
No.
See how... Oh. They seem quite protective over their cousins that they're nothing alike.
You're gonna wake them up. They can't be reasoned with. They kind of get violent.
I don't trust them. I am putting that on the record. Do with that as you will.
I can't tell you what to do, Dreamer, but I don't know about this.
You go, Clay. I'm sorry for my friends. May I pick you up?
Yeah?
I don't want you too close to the fire.
Oh, hold on. And as you say that, they both stand up.
What?
Yes!
Rian like scrambles back, like he like pulls his swords and is like
And they stand on these legs that are, very windy, twiny sticks with roots at the very bottom that are just kind of soiled in dirt. You can see they've kind of been trying to stay warm, it looks like, by kind of, burying their roots down into these pots. But they willingly hop out and, teeter over to stand around Dreamer, kind of looking
Moves
up at him,
away.
if a bush can, adoringly.
He will move away as they move closer.
yeah.
No, sir.
I will. I believe I can use Druidcraft to light a small fire.
Yeah.
Rian is just fucking hand is aglow with lightning, just like just waiting. Like, Grin, you be ready.
Always ready.
What? So
say
you light the hearth?
I light the hearth.
Okay. So as you light the hearth, the wood starts to catch and forms a small, cheery fire. And while these halls are not quite as cold as the outdoors where there's just snow and ice, constant wind blowing, it is chilly in this space. But the area around the fire immediately starts to warm, and these two yew bushes with their berries just they inch a little closer and sort of settle down cross-legged,
No, sir.
like two small children in front of the fire.
Oh, thank you. It's been so cold.
You're welcome. How long have you two been here?
My whole life. Yeah. We're brother and sister. Well, how do we know what those are?
And they both give this very childlike shrug.
Are you Verna's friends?
Who's Verna?
She's our mom.
God damn it.
Has your mom been gone a long time?
Only a few days. You're not her friends?
We might be
Did
her
they just
friends.
sniffle?
We don't know
Or was
yet.
that a Josie sniffle?
Hard to tell.
Damn it.
The world may never know.
Are you gonna go look for her?
Does she often leave?
No, she's usually here. She usually is helping our cousins. She makes all of us, in pots like that one.
And, one of them, and it's hard to tell which is which now that they're out of their pots, but they twist around and point to the pot in Rian's arms.
Does that pot have a label on it?
It has a label, it is blank. And there's nothing growing in it, it's just dirt.
But magical.
But magical.
So like the soil must be magical.
What about the pot itself?
The pot itself, that's a good call. That might be what's magical. I mean, like, I think Rian would kind of turn to Felgrin and quietly be like, I'm getting, as I said before, a little mojo off this. It's like, this is magical. I'm not sure if it's the dirt. I'm not sure if it's the pot. But I already rooted around inside and there was nothing in it. This is magical. And I don't know why.
as you're talking, the pair of them, you're sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the fire, one of them is just kind of, rocking back and forth, almost humming to themselves. They seem much happier now that there's a fire going.
Falcon's just looking at them and just shakes his head.
I think Rian's setting the pot down on the table and
trust them at
scanning
all.
the other stuff, like all the other potted plants and stuff, to see if there's any movement or anything. Now that warmth is being provided to the room.
Roll me perception.
Ugh. Fucking 5. I'm actually decent at that too.
You really don't see anything moving over there. However, Helda kind of picks up on your looking, and no, these haven't moved.
Okay.
Just those two weirdos.
Right.
So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's a very good question. What are we doing? So what I mean, I think Rian would literally say this, be like, so what's the play here? Like, these ones might not be bad, but she just said that their mother helped their cousins. Cousins is also what they refer to as the ones that tried to murder us. So they're not too far removed. And Mama's coming home sometime.
Listen.
What we doing?
He's kind of talking in the general direction of the plants there.
They both twist at the waist on their trunks.
Like the fucking twins.
Does Mommy
Shiny.
talk ever?
Oh, yeah. She's like you.
He kind of narrows his eyes. Like me? He points at himself.
No, and both of them extend a branch and just kind of make a wide gesture to all the humanoids in the room.
So,
okay.
2 legs, arms, not a plant.
No?
There we go. What does she say when she talks?
They immediately start spouting off gobbledygook that you do not understand. Is not a language you're familiar with, but there does seem to be a pattern to it. However, Dreamer,
Yes.
you recognize that they are speaking in Druidic. And
Go on.
they seem to be repeating, some sort of spell. You're not able to make out what it is. It sounds very, very complicated, well beyond your capabilities.
But it's an incantation.
But it's an incantation in Druidic.
Are you just making that up? This is not helpful.
No, they're saying words.
Then he looks at Dreamer. Well?
I don't quite understand what it means or does, but it is a language that I know.
Okay. Do you...
Some sort of spell.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? How else would all of this, just kind of gestures around, happen?
There's definitely magic in this area.
Is it just Mommy down here, or are there others?
Well, occasionally there's been others that come through. Mommy takes care of those. She takes them somewhere else.
Kills them, probably.
What's that?
Dreamer will just, open his mouth and just,
What?
they're kids.
They are plants! Dreamer.
They're young plants.
That means nothing to me. I don't...
Hey,
What?
I'm 6 months old.
He just starts rubbing his temples.
That's not very long in the grand scheme of things.
No, it isn't, but... Dreamer...
Especially for plants.
There were just so many corpses on the way here. I don't know what you want me to say. Other than the truth of the matter. Which is... Mommy is doing something here. Doesn't want people interfering. So... He kind of does the... cross, the thumb across his neck.
Across the throat slit, yeah, the international sign of death.
Helda is kind of moving between the tables now and still being very careful not to touch anything. And you can see on either one of these tables are very slowly pulsating, vibrant, healthy pods with needle-like growths around them. not animated, but certainly capable of becoming so. And as she does, one of the plants sort of pipes up, don't touch them. They get mad. I'm not going to touch them. I'm explaining myself to a plant.
If I can, I am going to go sit next to the plants.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. Krellick, what are you doing beside the plants?
Thank you so much, streamer.
I'm just waiting for something to happen.
And how about Tavini? What are you doing?
She's been sketching, like, this whole time. She sketched the barrel, the plants on the table. She's been sketching the two young shrubs. And then I think she's just going to go around the room with Helda, kind of carefully looking at things and sketching.
Yeah, it just seems that every container in this room is either filled with dirt or filled with dirt and then had plants planted in it. Even the barrels on their side to the back of the room, as you're walking among the casks, you can see that they've been kind of, torn open or chopped open and filled with dirt. Obviously with the intention of, maybe she's been hauling in planting material substrate to expand the operation. Hey, you think you're gonna be going looking for Mom? You're not gonna hurt her, are you?
No, of course not. Where did she go, by the way?
Yes. And what are her weaknesses?
What are yours?
He just slowly turns and looks at Rian.
Oh, his are
So we
rats.
know not to accidentally cast those spells. Just like how you guys don't like fire, but you like the warmth.
Well, his
just won't-
weakness is rats.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Oh, they come sometimes and gnaw on the roots of our cousins.
Mm.
They wind up with a lot of spines in them.
Aye, we've seen that.
So, again,
It's horrible.
is there any way to see if that was genuine?
Insight check on a plant, roll at disadvantage because they have no expression.
Damn. I'm gonna nail this, watch.
Yeah, feel it. I feel it. Here it is.
Kinds of
Hey!
chaos.
8 feels genuine.
Alright. Well, back to my original question. Do you know where she goes?
Yeah, we can take you if you want. Well, don't speak for me, Clay. Well, I'm willing to go.
The one addressed as Clay says.
Well, it would require you to move away from the fire.
Oh, I mean, it'll still be here when we get back, yeah?
Sure.
I want to go see Mom.
And the one addressed as Clay stands up and starts heading towards the south end of the room.
On its
While
little
the other...
root feet.
Yeah, its little root feet.
Oh
It
my
moves
God.
very slowly. Much slower than you guys. But the other one, it's kind of twisting at the trunky waist and seems to be trying to decide between the fire and their friend.
No sense of adventure?
My cousins are real mean.
Mm-hmm. They ruined my shirt. He kind of sticks his finger through the hole in his shirt.
Oh, they hurt your leaves?
Yes, my leaves.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want my leaves hurt.
I mean,
Okay.
you could try and convince him to come if you want. If you want. I am not urging you one way or the other.
Yeah, let's not. We're just going to murder his mom in front of him. That's okay, Hugo. I'll stand up. Or was that Clay?
Well, that's fine. I mean,
No,
if
that's
you
Hugo.
want,
Okay.
if you want Clay to look, more brave than you, that's fine. He'll just walk away.
Roll me a persuasion check.
There we go. Alright.
Nice.
Alright, you get about halfway to Clay before you hear the dry scraping sound of branches over stone as you go, stop sitting crisscross applesauce and starts racing after you, only reaching about your walking speed.
Yeah, Bogre doesn't
Wait,
even look, he
I
just
don't wanna-
smiles. What?
I'm not a coward. And you guys
Of
now
course
have
you're not.
have 2 awakened shrubs in the party.
I'm starting to like these shrubs.
Nice.
It's okay, Yugo. You don't have to go if you don't want to.
No, I'm no coward.
God, I wish Dreamer had eyebrows, because then he would give a look that's very much like, are you sure about that?
Fucker will just give Dreamer a knowing smile.
Clay, so both of them only have about 20 movement speed. So Clay is having to run to kind of keep ahead of the party to show them where to go. Yugo is staying next to Helda, who is looking like she might use that crossbow at any moment.
It's understandable. They
Clay kind of
like shitty kids.
Races past an entrance where you do see another doorway past this way, as well as one further south, if you guys want to explore side passages or keep going.
I just think that they don't know a damn thing, so they don't know if their mom's incredibly evil. You know? I just don't think they know what evil is. You know, they know
children.
They know their cousins are dickheads, that's about it.
And when you're 6 months old, that's all you need to know.
Oh, Krellick left behind.
It's okay, I got him.
Oh, thank you. I'm supposed to be in charge.
Swallowed by the darkness.
Tavini and Krellick, as Clay kind of like, not panting because obviously they're a plant, but patters past some of these open doorways, you catch a glimpse of a very large, imposing statue. Very much, to your eyes, has the structure of a Dwarven shrine of some kind. And Clay is just gonna keep going, unless someone tells him otherwise.
Hold
catch
on.
up very quickly.
Little plant.
Sort of
Nothing gonna break my stride.
skids to a halt. Huh?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Sits down, crisscross applesauce on the floor.
Oh my
We
god.
should be fine. It's going to take him 20 minutes to get any further. We'll be alright. We'll catch up pretty quickly.
So, Krellick, as you enter this room, a stone statue in the likeness of a dwarven man stands in this small shrine chamber. His right hand is outstretched towards the entrance. The insignia of a mountain silhouette with a gemstone in the center is carved into his breastplate. The base of the statue has an engraving in Dwarvish. Anyone proficient in religion can straight off identify this figure as the dwarven god Dumathoin. And anyone proficient with religion, if I could get checks on that.
Anybody else got it?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, alright. So, Tavini, with Dumathoin having an association with your own god Moradin, being part of the same dwarven pantheon, you would recall that Dumathoin is the god of buried secrets. And at the base of his statue, this inscription reads, "A shroud that hides both day and night, keeping secrets from the light. Bring to me that which concealed, the many treasures it may yield."